75. Wake Forest went to Pitt on Wednesday and lost 77-72. Struggled in three-point shots. They were just 6 of 22. Opening tip controlled by Syracuse.
And Wake has had the lead in a couple of those road games at NC State, at Pitt, double-figure leads that have just evaporated.
And in fact, Wake has lost 4 straight road games. Opening shot and a miss from Chris Bell. And here is Hildreth trying to cross it over. Draws a lot of defensive attention.
He's been limited, unfortunately, with that right wrist injury.
This is Carr, and now Reed. Poked away and regathered, poked away for a second time, and we're going to stay at this end of the floor with 9 to shoot for Wake.
Well, you talk to the Syracuse people, and Malik Brown has really probably been their most consistent player this year. Really a terrific one-on-one defender, especially in the post.
Adrian Autry taking over for the legend Jim Boeheim after 47 years as the head coach of the Orange program. Deep in the shot clock for Carr. Launching a 3.
You know, a really proficient three-point shooter, just under 40%, and at 6'11", he can see over people and get that just about any time he wants.
Scores over 14 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 11th in the conference for Carr, who gets us started in scoring. Mintz able to hang on. Shot clock dwindles down to 10. Bell trying to answer with a 3 side rim. Boopie Miller.
He's been their best three-point shooter this year, and but has been kind of spotty in the last 4 games.
So Mintz has picked up the foul mic as Miller was bringing it up the court.
And not a great, you know, a really cheap foul, and Boopie Miller just kind of stopped short. Mintz ran into him. So just kind of, yeah, he stopped short. It was his move, and he ran in, and he picked up a cheap foul, and something that Mintz can't afford to get right now.
Judah Mintz, 18.5 points per game. Top scorer for this Orange team.
And look for Wake Forest to really build a wall with him and try to get the ball out of his hands, keep him from going downhill.
Reed trying to get it to Carr for the rim bender for Wake.
Well, you know, Efton Reed is really, he's talented. He plays a great high-low game, and Carr shows the ability to go inside and outside.
Justin Taylor got it right back. He lines up a 3. Syracuse, Mike, as a team, 13th in the conference in three-point shooting, 33%.
Yeah, and that's what Wake is going to do. They're going to really pack it in. They want to keep everybody in front, and somebody high up in the section 104 was open there.
I don't even think the G-man could have got to that one.
This just, you know, 2 things. There was no pressure on the pass up top, and then a good seal on, you know, underneath. So really good offense that time on the high-low, and not great defense.
Syracuse had won 11 in a row, Mike, in that series against Boston College prior to the loss on Tuesday. Chestnut Hill. This is Bell turning and missing, and Reed.
And that's a matchup that goes back to the old Big East days.
Sallis had it knocked away.
And this is what Syracuse does, Tom. They're one of the best in the league at stealing the basketball and forcing turnovers. That's their game. That's how they produce points.
Yeah, that all started with the play of Benny Williams, number 13, into the lineup for the Orange. Up ahead to Bell. So Syracuse on the board. Early on, first half. Reed trying to back his way down on Benny Williams, who will pick up the personal foul.
Now you notice too that he didn't go right away. He looked, there was no double team coming, so took his time and drew the foul. So, you know, great play by Reed, not in a real hurry right there. Let's see if, you know, if he gets the ball in the low box, takes a look, and then makes his move.
Sallis down the lane.
You know, really under control, 2-foot jump stop, takes the charge out of it, you know, out of play.
Challenge at the rim. Carr was there. Denies Malik Brown, and here comes Sallis. He had it knocked away by Mintz. Hustles to the basket, and no one can get back to stop the jam from Mintz.
You've got to be really careful around this team with the basketball. You can't make iffy passes. You know, both their guards are long at 6'4", and that's an offensive foul on Reed.
Mintz went flying. Mike Mintz is second in the conference in steals, and he shows us exactly why right here.
They are long and rangy out front. They have active hands, and they're very opportunistic. And you know, early on they were really out of sorts, and 2 steals, 2 quick baskets, and all of a sudden they're right back in.
Judah Mintz, a sophomore from Fort Washington, Maryland, and Oak Hill Academy in Virginia. 51 straight starts in an orange uniform. Marsh comes up with it.
And Marsh has not had much time at all this year, so it was surprising seeing him on the floor.
Just his 8th game of the season. Parker Fredrickson is also into the lineup for Wake in white, black, and old gold. Hildreth had it bounce off of his hands toward the Syracuse bench and out of bounds. We'll take a timeout from Winston-Salem with the Deacs in front of the Orange on the CW. We don't just have everything, we have your thing. It is the 15th all-time meeting between these two programs. Syracuse leads the way 11-3, and they have split their last 4 meetings. That included the last game of the regular season, which turned out to be Jim Boeheim's final regular season game at the Dome, Mike. We were there for it. A win by the Orange, and then Wake Forest in tournament just a few days later eliminated the Orange at the ACC tournament.
And you know, looking back on it, you had the sense that might have been the last game. And you know, in talking to Jim kind of leading up to that, he never really wanted to do this long farewell thing, and he wanted to do what Roy Williams did. He said, all right, I'm like a blackjack dealer. You know, I'm out. You know, good luck.
Spinning Copeland. Now he's a big TV star.
Oh, yeah, it's stage and screen.
Syracuse kept it alive with Williams. Trying to get it to Mintz, almost into the backcourt. Plenty of time on the shot clock.
Already 5 Wake turnovers, so
Mintz stepping into a 3 for Judah Mintz.
I mean, there are some things with Syracuse that you're going to live with, and I think a 3 from Judah Mintz is going to be one of them.
Mintz was 2 of 7 on 3-point tries at Boston College and had 18 points, tied for the team lead. He's now made 23s on the season. Doesn't take a whole lot of them. Does like to get to the free throw line. Hildreth, dribbling clinic. Over the top, and the clearance from Malik Brown.
Yeah, you know, he's much more effective the closer in he gets, but clearly hampered by that wrist.
Wide of the intended target from Copeland. So Wake had the first 5 points of the game. Syracuse has come back to tie us up at 7. It is Wake basketball.
And Coach Autry did not like that particular shot, so we're going to sit down and talk about it.
Chatting with the sophomore Quadir Copeland from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, who averages about 8.5 points per game and has only made 6 threes on the season.
But you know, you look at his BC line, 9 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, it's not far off the triple-double.
Too strong from Boopie Miller. Miller, another transfer addition for Wake Forest from Central Michigan. That ball coughed up by the Orange.
A lot of unforced turnovers in this game by both teams.
Hildreth ran into Brown.
But you know, just the thing with Hildreth, though, even with his diminished offensive capabilities, he's one of their best defenders. And you know, Steve Forbes said he can't afford to take him off the floor. And here's a guy that they're desperately trying to work back into the lineup.
Damari Monsanto. Back in, playing in his 4th game since coming back from the knee injury that he suffered late in the season last year. His first game back was a home game against Louisville, and he made 4 3-pointers in that game. In fact, that was the last win and home win for Wake Forest. And the officials are going to talk about this, Mike. Jamie Lucky, Clarence Armstrong, Mark Schnurr in charge of the action this evening in Winston-Salem.
It was the shot clock. It was supposed to have been reset. It wasn't reset on the offensive rebound. Now you've got, and this is one thing that Adrian Archer talked about, was the 2 snipers out on the floor. He called them from Fredrickson and Monsanto. They're 3-point specialists, and he wants them covered.
Late in the shot clock for Hildreth. Shook the defender and put it in.
That's a great save by him with the shot clock on his back.
Sallis, active defending on Mintz. Got Marsh in the air. Found an open teammate in Williams.
See, again, those are, you're going to live with those percentages. 1 of 5 now.
Fredrickson from the corner. 3 ball from the corner pocket.
He's taken 5 2-point baskets on the year. He's made 4 of them.
83 of 88 field goal attempts by Fredrickson have been 3-point attempts. I think he just picked up the foul, Mike.
Yeah, on the reach, but this is what he does. And actually, Steve Forbes called it. He said he's one of the best pure shooters he's ever had.
Freshman from Bixby, Oklahoma, 6'3" and 195 pounds. Was only 1 of 6 at Pitt this week. 3-point attempts.
No surprise, and we got here. He was the first guy out here working on his jump shot.
Front rim for Mintz.
You can see, just if you can keep Syracuse in the half court. And I just tried for a little bit too much right there. Reed probably would have been better served to come down with that one and go back up strong.
That's 7 feet 240 hanging on the rim here at Joel Coliseum. Sallis wide open for a 3, and he held the finish. Timeout on the court.
Nobody stepped up to stop the basketball. That guy's the most important one on the floor, so he decided to tee it up.
Wake Forest now 3 of 4 on 3-point attempts. Hunter Sallis knocks it down.
This Sunday, it's rivalry week on CW Women's Hoops. Miami looks to steal a victory on the road against rival Florida State and the high-scoring Seminoles.
Fine ahead of Duke. Clemson, it was a big win for Virginia on the road. Clemson's now lost 6 of their last 9 to slide back into the lower half.
And Virginia has won 6 in a row. They're at 8-3 in conference play, and it's Williams with a monster jam.
Really, that's the kind of execution you love to see coming out of a timeout.
Benny Williams, the junior from Bowie, Maryland.
Better production last couple games for him. 9 points, 5 rebounds. He's been spotty a little bit this year.
Monsanto misses. Hildreth preserving the possession. Finds an open Monsanto from the corner.
So far this year in his return, every shot has been a 3, and he certainly has given himself a chance coming into this game.
Mintz down the lane, and he lays it in.
Well, you can see everybody lifted for Syracuse that time. Driving lanes wide open, and there was no support. There was no gap support that time for Wake Forest.
Monsanto not bashful. Couple of bounces, and it comes off. Fight for the loose ball, Hildreth. Monsanto testing that knee, trying to drop it low to Reed. 10 on the shot clock. Kick from Fredrickson. Monsanto from the corner.
Boy, it's a good result, but without Boopie Miller out on the floor, Tom, it is a little ragged out there right now for Wake Forest, but end result 3 points.
1 of 4 on 3-point chances for Damari Monsanto. Had been 7 of 14 from beyond the arc prior to tonight in his 3 previous games off the knee injury.
This is really a fascinating lineup out there right now for Wake Forest.
Sallis!
You got basically four perimeter scorers in Reed.
All of a sudden, this game has sped up, accelerating towards the 9-minute mark of our first half. Wormy, Jaminski are outstanding. ACC basketball on the CW crew with you from Winston-Salem. Copeland, this time he hits the mark.
All he needed was just a couple of friendly words from Adrian Autry over on the sideline.
So the 7th made 3 of the season for Quadir Copeland. Found his comfort zone at the other end of the floor. This is Reed against 2 defenders. Copeland came over to help Mintz. We're going to get Copeland. And his first. You're watching ACC basketball on the CW, brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. So glad that you're with us on a Saturday night, Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
One thing I will note, Tom, for the viewers, that under Adrian Autry, they're playing a lot more man-to-man this year as opposed to the 2-3 zone that Jim Boeheim's. But on underneath out of bounds, they will zone.
So another foul picked up there by Copeland. So that's a quick 2.
And that's also the 5th team foul. So Wake Forest close to in the bonus shooting.
Adrian Autry, a standout player in the early 90s in an orange uniform. And 12 years as a Syracuse assistant prior to taking over for Jim Boeheim. Shot clock's at 5, G-Man. Miller. Miscommunication with Reed, it looked like.
Again, Wake will try to throw these home run lobs, and that one just ill-advised.
6 turnovers for Wake Forest in the first half. The Orange shooting 33% as a team, and only down by 6. Taylor. Copeland's got nowhere to go. Shot clock is at 5. Taylor trying to work the baseline. Tough turnaround, fall away. Reed pulled it down, had it taken away, and then went for the big block. Copeland went down. Carey was in there as well.
A lot of contact on the takeaway by Copeland, but Reed wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to finish on the play.
So that's 2 on Reed, and Copeland's at the free throw line. .69% from the stripe on the season for Quadir Copeland. Marsh returning to the lineup with Reed and the 2 personal fouls to that Wake bench.
Been some very interesting lineups out there for Steve Forbes in the first half for Wake Forest.
Matthew Marsh is seeing action in just his 8th game this season. He averages, Mike, 1.9 points, 3.1 rebounds. He's only attempted 9 shots all season.
But he shoots like 80% for his career.
Albeit in relative proximity to the rim. Details. Carr, triple teamed. Found Sallis.
When you're triple teamed, a couple people are bound to be open. Good find, though, out of that.
Double figures for Sallis with 10. Copeland with the scoop. Marsh the block. Wake on the run. Into the corner. Inside of 7.5 minutes to go in the half. This is Miller. Tough shot and fouled as he hit the deck. Hunter Sallis, the open man, and he's got another 3-point.
Turnovers and points off those turnovers for Syracuse kept them a little bit close in this game.
Wake Forest so far in the first half, Mike, 56% from the floor as a team. The Orange, 30%. Kevin Boopie Miller, sophomore from Chicago, Illinois, is at the free throw line.
These are Wake's first free throws of the game, and Syracuse has only been there 2 times as well.
That is a rarity. Boopie shoots 85% from the free throw line, 7th in the ACC.
Well, this team is one of the top in the nation, and we've got 2 of the best in the country in this conference. Wake Forest just about 80% as a team, which is extraordinary.
Yeah, 2nd in the conference, Mike, 3rd in the nation from the stripe as a team for the Demon Deacons. Syracuse, that might have been the difference, Mike, at Boston College this week from the free throw line. The Orange in that game against the Eagles just 7 of 14 on free throws. Shot clock down to 7. Starling rises up.
Well, and how about this? 6.5 minutes to go in the game, and that's Starling's first field goal attempt of the game. Has not even been a part of the offense.
And he's a double-digit scorer, Mike, almost 13 points per game for number 2 in Orange. They look for Marsh. He's able to grab it and lay it in.
Well, they were very fortunate on that play. That was kind of an iffy decision, and Marsh able to keep it alive and convert.
All it takes is 1 basket to get to his season average for Matthew Marsh, the junior from Cornwall, England. Whistle stops play. So Miller has picked up the foul for Wake Forest. His first. Steve Forbes is in his 4th year, the first year on the bench for Adrian Autry. I got to watch him play, Mike, as a student in the early 90s in the Dome under Coach Boeheim. Fantastic player, still one of the all-time assist leaders.
There's still a lot of Orange over on the bench. Jerry McNamara there as well. And the family tree was on travel.
Part of the 03 national championship team for Syracuse. Wake Forest, on the other hand, Mike, trying to get back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2017. And you can see that Marsh, as far as scoring is concerned, it has been a while. Early December. Bonus production from number 33. Miller. Around the edge. Over the taller defender in Taylor.
Pretty nice job by Taylor to shut him off and make him settle for a tough fall away.
Taylor squares up for the 3. That's just 2 of 8 now for the Orange and 3s, and Hildreth beats everybody to the rim.
Well, and you know what? With a guy with an injured hand like that, you bail him out by trying for a steal outside and then give him a free run to the rim.
8-0 run, the largest lead of the half for Wake Forest. Taylor with a quick first step. Carr trying to recover, and he bumped him.
Here's the look. I mean, right here, you just wave at it right there. There's nobody in to pick up. There's no real shot blocker per se. I mean, Malik Brown, can in a pinch, but no real presence in there for Syracuse.
Taylor behind the line. Still a little bit off the mark.
Yeah, he's shooting Syracuse out of this game right now.
32% three-point shooter on the season for Justin Taylor, for the sophomore from Charlottesville, Virginia. Hildreth driving again. The spin. Copeland was ready to defend it.
And see, that's again with the way he's shooting, he turns right back into the defense, and that was an easier block, but a good defensive play.
Taylor tries the other side. Once again, it's off the mark. Over 5 minutes without a field goal for Syracuse. Sallis the other way. The basket will not count. Foul on the floor. So Wake is into the bonus, 1-on-1. Starling picked up the foul, his first. Monsanto back into the lineup. He's got a 3 in the game.
Well, Taylor has really struggled. He's out of the game now. Has really struggled from 3 in ACC play. But Sallis, that, you know, again, those long rebounds off the missed threes, and he had a good rush up the floor.
Tuesday on Inside the NFL, the matchup for the big game is set. The guys take a look at the keys to victory for both the 49ers and Chiefs. Inside the NFL Super Bowl edition, Tuesday, 8/7 Central, only on the CW.
Can't even imagine what Las Vegas is going to be like.
The drive continues for the Orange. Starling stepping behind the line in front of the Wake bench for 3.
Yeah, that's in this last 4+ minutes. They desperately need him to get going.
How about Miller stepping on the accelerator at the other end?
Right, you want to try to force him to go left. I mean, make him go to his offhand, but he beats you with his offhand and finishes.
This is Mintz, and he rises up over Miller and hits it.
Right, at 6'4", he's going to have that advantage.
Quickly to the other end for Miller.
And with his speed, you know, Miller able to not afraid to go inside against a taller backcourt.
Get your stopwatch out, Mike. 3:25 and rolling to go in our first half. Wake by 14. Williams lost it on the way up to Monsanto. Remember, Wake had a 10-point lead, Mike, earlier this week and gave it up at Pitt. Traveling violation. And so when we come back, the Orange will have the basketball. Wake has the lead on its own floor. CW, that's 9.
Yeah, early on, opportunistic, doing it off of his defense, getting steals. And Sallis has been perfect from the field, 4 of 4, 2 of 2 from behind the arc. So their big scores have showed up, and it's been nice balanced scoring for Wake Forest, and really Syracuse is looking for that second guy. Starling has been quiet, but did step up and hit that last 3.
Starling has 1 of the 3 made 3-pointers in the game for the Orange on 11 tries.
I think so. Early Wake is, you know, mission accomplished, keeping Syracuse off the free throw line. You know, Mintz is shooting a high percentage, but not drawing fouls. And they will stay. They're going to jump him with the big guy and get the ball out of his hand.
Inside of the jam for Brown.
They'll live with that play. If they can get the ball out of Mintz's hands, they'll live with that to a certain degree.
After the jam, the Orange have made their last 3 shot attempts. Wake has made 7 of its last 9 and shooting close to 60% in the first half as a team. Carr around Brown.
Offensive foul.
Extended the left arm, trying to get to the rim.
Here's the look. I mean, you can see Carr was really just extended way out on the floor. Help a little bit late getting there. A good find inside. But down this end, there was really nobody inside in the lane. Sometimes if there are bodies in there, you can get away with that play. But clearly that left arm was extended. Good call. Jamie Lucky.
And so both Reed and Carr have 2 personals. Marsh back in. Mintz goes right by him, tries to spin it in. And then Brown tried to get up on the cylinder. And they're going to get the Orange for basket interference.
I don't know how that one didn't go in.
Sort of a counterclockwise spin here, Mike.
Yeah, like a lot of my putts back in the day.
And then it was Brown trying to get a piece of it. So Wake with the basketball and the lead. Mintz tried to anticipate. Miller spins and hits. Seven points, 3 of 5 shooting. Boopie Miller. Mintz to Copeland. Lost it in the paint to Hildreth. He scraps with Williams.
Good technical foul now. Might be on Benny Williams. I don't know who the call was on.
Well, there was an initial call in the fight for the loose ball. So we'll get this sorted out. Here's the sequence. As Williams strips it away from Hildreth. And then just kind of sends the ball over the baseline. So they announced Cordier Copeland for the foul, which would be his third personal, and then Williams for the tech.
And just those unnecessary cheap points that you can't be throwing away on the road. And you know, it's there are small things, but Wake uncharacteristically missing a couple of free throws, leaving some points there at the free throw line.
Yeah, being confirmed that the technical foul. There you see Benny Williams picking it up, and now Hildreth to the free throw line. Taylor set to check in. Missing the front end of the 1-and-1 for Hildreth.
And as I always say, after that first technical, everybody behave out on the floor because that second tee can come pretty easily.
From the corner, fouled in the act of shooting, Chris Bell.
And really an unnecessary foul by Monsanto. And he's really working back into shape. And the thing with him, Tom, is that with that injury, he can't really guard out in the wing. And Steve Forbes is forced to play him more at the 4 position, playing a bigger body. He can't react as he normally would against a quicker player.
So Chris Bell is at the line. He's only attempted 14 free throws this season and made 10 of them. And now 11. Coming up on the Subaru halftime report from Winston-Salem. First half stats and highlights. And we'll check in on the first event of the season for Live Golf. It's all coming up on the Subaru halftime report.
See, to me, Chris Bell falls into the scary category because he's capable. He's had 3 20-point games this year, but his last 4, 12 points, 5 points, 13 points, 2 points. So he's capable of a big night. He's also capable of disappearing.
Yeah, he averages double digits, just over 10 per game. How about the work by Hildreth at the other end for Wake Forest?
He's done some pretty good offensive work in this game.
Hildreth now has 6 points. Mintz on the drive fouled. First on Hildreth.
And I make that point about Bell because in the scouting report, you have to prepare like he's going to be on. You know, you can't just roll the dice and say, all right, he's going to be off tonight.
Speaking of Las Vegas.
There you go. On my mind.
Mintz at the line. 77% is the best free throw shooter for the Orange. We told you about his robust free throw numbers, Mike. 3rd in the nation in total attempted free throws.
Yeah, and that is, he has taken almost half of Syracuse's attempts as a team.
Double figures now for the 20th time this season for Judah Mintz after the free throws. He's attempted 187 free throws on the season. Hildreth, head of steam. Cuff was defending Hildreth. Just came in and picked up a foul.
Double bonus now for him.
45.3 seconds to go in our first half. As we told you at the top of the broadcast, Steve Forbes' team is 11-0. Add that with the last 2 years, Mike, when they went 10-0 at home. They've won 11 straight home games for the first time since 1999. And struggles from the line for Hildreth, Mike, that's uncharacteristic. 84% and 8th in the conference from the free throw line for Hildreth.
4 of 8 now, as you know, for the half.
First game of the season against Elon, Hildreth went for 33 points, a career high and the most by any Wake player this season. Now 30 seconds to go in the half. It's Cuff working the baseline. Taken away by Hildreth. Up ahead, Monsanto to Sallis on the business end of the alley-oop.
All right, so much for holding it for the last shot, but Adrian Archer going to use that timeout, set up a last play with 19.5 left. Great look ahead right here. Just, I mean, the ball just hit the ball and floor one time on that break. I mean, this took all of about 3 seconds to get up the floor for a dunk.
Now the largest lead of the game for Wake. If you thought growing up was hard, try doing it in the 80s. Catch an all-new episode of the CW original comedy, Son of a Critch, Thursdays at a new time, 9/8 Central. Only on the CW stream for free now on the CW app.
Man, I did it in the 60s.
Kicking it old school in Winston-Salem. Largest lead right now.
That guy had manhandled.
He did. Tell you what, when they flung open the doors to open the building, the students stampeded into the building in an orderly fashion to get to their seats. Behind the basket to our left, broadcast position off to the left. We are courtside. CW courtside Saturday at night. Final seconds. Mintz against 2 defenders. Got the shot away and hit it with about 2 seconds on the clock. So a bucket late for Judah Mintz, who has 13.
The guy they need to get going is Efton Reed. Had foul issues in the first half, only played 8 minutes, has not scored, only took 1 shot.
This is Carr trying to muscle his way inside for 2.
I really don't have any answer for him. And he knocked down a 3 early in the game, had a couple of good post possessions.
7 points now for Andrew Carr, senior from Westchester, Pennsylvania. That's Starling.
Yeah, and conversely, that's who Syracuse had to get going. So no surprise getting the ball in his hands and letting him get some early shots.
Just 34% as a team shooting in that first half for the Orange. Starling, after that jumper, now has 5. Touch foul. That'll be against Taylor. Number 5 in Orange.
Well, that time he tried to front Carr a little bit too aggressively, getting the foul.
So that's the first on Taylor. Miller.
That's what they were working on. He took the ball out of bounds, and they worked on that in practice, him stepping right in and being the guy eventually was going to shoot the ball for 3. Had a decent look at it.
Taylor, 1 dribble and the shot in rhythm for 2.
Yeah, but again, I think that's the better choice. They were able to drive him off the 3-point line and make that a long 2-point shot.
First points of the game for Justin Taylor, averages just over 5 per game for the Orange.
But early on in the second half, better offensive execution for Syracuse, and wide open driving lane for Boopie Miller.
He now has 9 after the drive and layup. Taylor at the other end for 3, hit the deck after the release and ripped the ropes for Syracuse.
Maybe that mid-range jump shot was the thing he needed to get him in rhythm. That was under duress. Came close to getting maybe a 4-point play.
Last 5 points for the Orange coming from number 5. Out to challenge Carr. Shot clock down to 6 for Miller. Gets away from a couple of defenders. Sallis is open. Makes no mistake.
And Miller, he made that play. He split the trap that time. Somehow kept his dribble alive, and Sallis is basically playing horse.
3 for 3 on 3-point shot. Sallis. Bell couldn't connect. Sallis has 18 points to lead all scorers in our game. Miller, sharp angle. Around Mintz, calculating the angle off the backboard with the scoop for Boopie. Double digits, Mike, with 11.
I don't know how he got that up. I thought he was going to drop that off to Reed underneath, but it finished with his left hand as well.
19 times this season, double figures for Miller. Taylor pumps up another 3. Hildreth over the top of the board and run. Tried to get around Mintz. Impeded his progress and picks up the foul. So for Mintz, that is his second. Remember, he picked up an early foul in the first half. Great conversation this afternoon at the shoot-around with Adrian Autry. Taking over for a legend. Smooth transition, though, former player. Carr ran into a roadblock. Sallis! For the style points, that was deflected into the backcourt.
And Reed was the one who kept that alive. Nice play.
Hildreth goes the other way, hangs and scores. Count the bucket, and he's going to the line.
Well, you know what, Tom? When your right wrist is bothering, you finish with your left, and this was just a great take. Goes inside, absorbs the contact. Great finish underneath. Just refused to screen that time. They were playing him to drive middle, and just the baseline was wide open, and it looked like he got raked across the nose a little bit.
So Brown committed the foul. Hildreth at the line for the old school 3-point play. Again, 84% of the season. Top 10 of the ACC from the stripe.
Well, and we failed to note too that he's got 9 rebounds in this game.
Rattles home from Taylor. That's now 8 points and a couple of threes this half.
And Taylor has not been shy about shooting the ball in this game. He leads them in field goal attempts with 9.
2 of 7 on 3-pointers for Taylor, trying to defend Sallis.
Yeah, this is a guy who comes in averaging 5 points a game.
Carr on the block. Once again, imposes his will, puts it over the front rim.
Syracuse not coming in and double teaming. Those Wake's post guys are having one-on-one play inside.
Mintz with a lightning quick move, then it got knocked away from Copeland. Back to Mintz. Pass in tight quarters, deflected by Marsh. Getting significant minutes tonight for the Demon Deacons. Up 55-38. Will step aside on the CLA tournament. Beat Kansas and DePaul. Lost to Houston to be eliminated from the tournament in '84 when they went 23-9.
Used to give Johnny Dawkins fits. And, Johnny always used to say, when you didn't see him, you knew you were in trouble.
Well, they had Muggsy in '84, and we got Boopie in 2024 for Wake. Trying to defend Mintz, who tosses that one into the front row.
So Hildreth on his own, Mike, almost as many rebounds as the Orange.
Well, I mean,
right now, Wake shooting 67% from the floor. There have only been 11 rebounds in the game.
That's true.
To be had. So
Hildreth, and there will be no rebound on that shot. For three for Hildreth.
Well, we talked about it. I mean, across the board, Wake is an elite shooting team.
12 points now for Hildreth. This season, they're 4th in the conference overall in shooting. Plus, they're on their home floor where they have not lost this season, 11-0. Copeland cut off. Tried to go behind the back, and Marsh anticipated and deflected out of bounds.
I mean, I really think they can't let up, obviously, at home, but I think for Wake in the second half of the season, it's going to be solving things on the road. If they can do that, then they're going to be a factor in the league.
So that's Miller and Marsh and Carr coming out. So Reed and Fredrickson join the lineup along with Monsanto. Mintz with the shot clock almost empty. Sallis was the nearest defender.
Yeah, and no reason for him to bite on that pump fake. You're right here. Just keep your feet, keep a hand up, challenge the shot. It's going to be a tough shot anyway. That may be the thing that drives me crazy the most is when you bite on a pump fake on a jump shot like that, you're not going to block it anyway.
Just trying to determine, Mike, how many free throws Mintz is entitled to.
From that line, because you go up right there, and you couldn't see where he actually left the floor from.
So look right from behind the back.
It looks like his toe is on the line there, and it looks like 2 from that view.
Clarence Armstrong is over at the replay machine.
But it looks like in getting the contact, it looks like he went over the line. Tough to see.
Mark Schnurr has joined Clarence Armstrong at the scorer's table. Tomorrow on CW Women's Hoops, bitter rivals collide as the Hurricanes pay a visit to Tallahassee to take on the Seminoles. Miami and Florida State tomorrow. Special time, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Only on the CW. Miami's won 2 in a row. Florida State is 10-2 on their home floor, and they collide tomorrow on the CW.
Well, I think Kenyon, they decided there was 2 free throws, or there would be 2 free throws coming, but a good side story for Wake Forest is that Damari Monsanto has gotten some good extended court time here today. And, Steve Forbes told us it would be situational. There would be depending on, who he could guard, how he would feel, how the game went. And, but so far, it's going to be good for him to get in some rhythm out there, get his conditioning up, especially in the game.
The sleeve on the left leg. Monsanto played 9 minutes of the game against Pittsburgh, which was a loss on the road on Wednesday for Wake Forest, a game in which they led by 10 points. So maybe that's why G-Man was wondering how this might turn out. As the hustle by Taylor, it's going to pay off.
And Monsanto kind of gave up on the play. I was afraid to touch it, but a good, smart play by Taylor to finish it off.
Taylor's up into double figures, Mike. He's got 10. He almost poked that one away from Monsanto.
That one, you take the turnover, grab it, if anything, and just stop the play.
Deflected by Mintz. 2-on-1 action with Copeland. And Copeland will go in for the double-fisted rim rocker. And Steve Forbes wants a timeout on the Wake side.
In a sense, his team falling asleep a little bit right there, so he wants to get their attention.
They got his attention by giving up the basketball and a quick 4 points by the Orange. Steal by Mintz, the feed to Copeland for the slam for the Cuse. And prior to our game, many of you saw NC State defeat Georgia Tech. That was in Raleigh, 79-76. This is game 2 of CW Courtside Saturday. Mintz goes down from the inbounds. Judah Mintz, who leads the Orange with 13 points. Take a look at this here, Mike.
We have no call on the floor. Looking for a possible play.
He was guarding Hildreth, and on the separation, he couldn't see anything. You saw the right arm come up and through. The referees are going to take a look at it.
Yeah, there was no foul called initially on the play, Mike. They are reviewing the video for potential flagrant foul. And it was Hildreth who was trying to get to the inbounds pass. Who got tangled up with Mintz.
And you see right here, watch the right arm right there is where the contact takes place. Now the thing that with the contact, or what Wake now is, they're going to, the pressure is going to be there, and Boopie Miller not on the floor, so it's that's the thing they're going to have to deal with. Yeah. The referees are having real issues trying to see anything here.
Well, we got Jamie Lucky and Mark Schnurr conversing. They're not noticing anything on the replay, Mike. Mark Schnurr coming over to talk to G-Man just to get a clarification. Again, the key terminology is, was it excessive? Was it extreme? Did it warrant a flagrant foul? And they say no. Right?
Yeah, they're going to know, and they're going to get, but they do get a new 10 seconds to get it across the half-court line.
So inadvertent contact by Hildreth against Mintz, and the good thing is Mintz appears to be okay. Part of the full court pressure. Hildreth tried to chisel his way through the double, punches it up to Sallis. Monsanto unloads for a 3.
Wow, that possession had disaster written all over it, and it ends up in a made 3.
Second 3 of the game, Monsanto. And the hustle by Hildreth broke the double team, Mike, and then punched it forward.
And Malik Brown gets an offensive foul. Well, watch this. This is a turnover waiting right here. Sallis, the heads-up play, the good find right here. Incredible finish.
Second 3 of the game, Monsanto. And again, this is just his 4th game back from a significant knee injury. The late stages of the season a year ago. Damari Monsanto, redshirt senior from Pembroke Pines, Florida. This is Reed. Gave it up. Perimeter work. Shot clock to 5. Sallis met in midair, mind you, by Malik Brown.
And all this work is being done with Reed having yet to score in this game, and only has taken 1 shot attempt. Not really forcing things. Does have 6 rebounds, 2 assists, so doing other things out on the floor.
So Wake following up that 64%, Mike, their best shooting half of the season. You saw what they've done so far in the second half.
8 of 10.
Peter Carey comes in for Brown with the 4 personals. Taylor, who's been a scoring spark, also comes out of the lineup for the Orange. Biggest lead of the night right here. Sallis has 20 points. What a reliable scorer he is for this team. 10th time this year, 20 points or more in a game. Hunter Sallis, the transfer from Gonzaga.
Good active hands by Sallis that time. 9 seconds on the shot clock. They give coaches all sorts of awards. They got to come up with something for Portal.
Well,
success because Steve
here in Wake,
Forbes.
it's the Steve Forbes Award.
Yeah, he's got to be right at the top of the list.
Alondes Williams,
yeah,
Player of the Year, 2 seasons ago. Starling through some traffic and congestion. 7 points for Starling.
And all 7 of those have been really tough. He is not at anything easy.
Inside of 12 minutes to go in our second half. Tom Wormy, Mike Jaminski, and our outstanding production crew with you from Winston-Salem with the shot clock at 6. Taken away from Efton Reed. Mintz to carry, tough catch.
Ill-advised pass, no room for him to catch.
Mintz just trying to stop Miller, who was going 1 on 3. And that's a 16 foul for the Orange. In a big hole on the road against Wake. 11:41 to go in our second half.
This Sunday, it's rivalry week on CW Women's Hoops. Miami looks to steal a victory on the road against rival Florida State and the high-scoring Seminoles.
It's a good defensive team.
North Carolina rebounding after their loss on the road at Georgia Tech, which, by the way, Mike, for Damon Stoudemire.
Yeah, those 2 home wins.
They've beaten Duke and North Carolina at home this season. Armando Bacot, by the way, Mike, 25 points, 10 boards. Harrison Ingram, 21 points, 13 boards in the North Carolina win against visiting Duke. They'll play again at the end of the season. Carr's at the line.
And, you know, it's interesting. Steve Forbes talked about that Carolina team today. You see what kind of offensive team that Wake Forest is, and he said we couldn't score there. And they scored 63 points against North Carolina, and it wasn't even a game. That's a very, very good North Carolina team. They're a team that could be ranked #1 that hasn't been ranked #1 in the country this year.
And you're talking about Wake, Mike. They are #1 in scoring as a team in ACC play, about 78.5 points per game.
They are extremely efficient this evening, without one of their top scorers having a game at all, and Efton Reed.
First miss in 5 attempts for the Orange. Wake has also made its last 4 shot attempts. This is Starling right in the face of the defender Fredrickson. Double digits for Starling and 10 points. Sallis chases it down. Carr wants to harvest a 3-pointer.
Just in transition, I think this is a very difficult team to put any pressure on, especially with Miller. I haven't seen many guys who are as fast and good with the basketball as he is, especially, and you got Sallis, who's a solid ball handler as well.
9 made threes in the game for Wake. That's Copeland on the inside. Sallis and Carr converging on him defensively. Consider that Wake Forest, Mike, since the 21-22 season, 42-5 is their home record. And again, they've started 10-0, and this year 11-0 the last 3 seasons at home.
Well, and also we touched on it at the beginning. Even though they're there right now, they, for all intents and purposes, have kept Syracuse off the free throw line. Still 10.5 minutes to go in the game, but they've defended without fouling.
That was just the 10th attempted free throw in the game for the Orange. Skillfully broken. Sallis bothered. Miller scoops it up. Takes it right to the rim.
We talked about, he's given away some size, but he is really strong. And that was a tough finish through contact.
And he now has 13 points. 19 times this season, double-digit scoring for Miller.
And they're attacking their pressure to score. They're just not satisfied getting it over half court.
Copeland open for a 3. Sallis challenged. Carr the rebound. They try to rip it away from him with Williams and Carey.
And that's the thing too. Syracuse is not a great offensive rebounding team. Here's the look pretty good strength through that double team, and right there, I mean, he just goes right through a bigger guy and finishes.
You know, last season Miller only played 4 games, Mike, because of injury. Spent 2 years in the program at Central Michigan, his first year in a Wake Forest uniform, and he is an impact transfer without a doubt.
Well, you got starters on this team. They're all playing. Everybody's playing over 30 minutes a game, just about. Nobody complaining about playing time. Now, you know, how is that going to do over the course of the season? You know, we'll see. And you know, we've seen a bunch of different lineups here this evening for Wake Forest. Guys who've gotten minutes that haven't played in a while.
Andrew Carr now has 16 points. That's above his season average, just a shade over 14. Copeland on the drive, lost it out of bounds. Turning into a frustrating evening for Coach Autry and the Orange on the road. Overall, they are 2-4 away from the Dome, and 1-4 in conference play. They almost were able to separate that basketball from Carr. They did. It went out of bounds off of Syracuse.
And see, at 6'10", he can be an automatic outlet coming in. Good pressure release.
Just like Wake has been good at home, Mike, Syracuse has been good at the Dome. They're 10-1 this season on their home floor, Jim Boeheim Court. Only lost to Florida State. And the sizable advantage right now for Wake, and it appears that they are well on their way to 12-0 at home this year. Mike, and you talked about the group with the 5 ACC wins. Both of these teams are in that group, and it looks like Wake is going to 6 ACC wins, and they put on an impressive performance shooting the basketball tonight.
Well, and the reason I say that somebody's got to separate is because none of them really have an outstanding non-conference record. So, you know, they've got to make some inroads in conference.
So Miller didn't get it over the midcourt stripe in time. He tried. The Demon Deacons are going to be on the road at Georgia Tech, home game against NC State, and then 2 in a row on the road, Duke and Virginia. Orange have 3 straight home games coming up, Mike. Louisville, Clemson, and North Carolina at the Dome. Williams. The cutter was Mintz. Gave it to Copeland. Tough shot. 9 points for Copeland. Reed and Copeland fighting for position on the entry pass.
Still 1-1, and but going forward, it's going to be the double bonus for Wake Forest. So that was 19th foul.
So the 4th on Copeland will put Reed at the free throw line. And as you mentioned, Mike, he has not scored tonight. Does have 6 rebounds. He's only attempted 1 shot. Good big man free throw shooter. 89% on the season. Efton Reed for the junior from Richmond, Virginia. Check out the CW's brand new hit series that critics are calling fresh and fiery and a damn good time. Watch Wild Cards this Monday, 9/8 Central, or stream free anytime on the CW app. Wake Forest has certainly been fresh and fiery tonight on their home floor.
Doing the job both ends of the floor.
They allowed Pitt to score 50 points in the second half of that loss on Wednesday. Not going to be the case tonight. Miller was defending. Second on Boopie Miller.
Well, there was some better 3-point shooting for the Pitt Panthers in that game in the second half. Bush Leggett really lit them up. That was a tough matchup for them.
Williams fouled on the drive. So that's the third on Carr.
So I think this is the one hope that Syracuse has, that they can make this game extremely ugly for the last 8:50. But that being said, if they, in a free throw shooting contest, technically Wake should have the big advantage.
At 80% and second best in the conference, you would think.
That wouldn't be the prettiest TV in the world, but
Carr spins it, tried to adjust in midair. Miller is there to clean it up.
you know, you don't normally like your point guard hanging around the offensive glass, but that was pretty good cleanup.
15 points for Miller. We saw him go for a career high 27 in the overtime win against Miami on this court a couple of weeks ago. Fredrickson, money.
That was another pass they got away with that turned into a good result.
10 made threes in the game on 15 attempts. Mike, that is 67% from beyond the arc.
That wins a lot of games, Tom.
Outrageous. I mean, they were already the third best three-point shooting team, and then it's Miller again inside. Timeout on the court. Wake rolling. 7.5 minutes to go in our second half. This is CW Courtside Saturday. Presented by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years. That's right, 10 made threes by the Deacs tonight.
And, you know, a lot of them have been in scramble mode, almost missed, turnovers, and some of them under duress. Just you've seen a big basket at home. You know, I think really the good news for Wake Forest fans is you're looking for even better stuff is the game that Hildreth is having offensively. You know, he had been struggling so much offensively, but 5 of 7 for him. He's got a double-double in this game. 12 points, 10 rebounds, 5 of 7 shooting.
His first double-double of the season, Mike, second of his career. He also has a triple-double. And that came in the 2022-23 season at home against Hampton with 14 points, 11 boards, and 10 assists. Williams still scrapping on the offensive glass for Benny Williams. It's only 2 other players, by the way, who have triple doubles at Wake.
Tim Duncan?
Yes. And the other one, we've already named him.
Yeah, it was player of the year.
Alandis, absolutely. Old school three-point play for Williams.
Well, yeah, when you get a triple-double with blocks, you're doing some work. Shout out to my center, compadre.
Miller couldn't use the English to spin it in. How about the other end of the drive, Copeland? And a steal. Starling fouled. And to the line for Starling.
And Benny Williams actually made that play. There was Monsanto was open down the floor. They were looking deep, but he blocked it. Little turnaround.
So in addition to that play by Starling, he's made a couple of three-pointers in the game on 2 tries. Made 4 threes, Mike, and scored 18 points to tie for the team lead at Boston College this week. Sophomore from Baldwinsville, New York, in the Syracuse area, and a transfer from Notre Dame that we noted at the top of the broadcast. So Sallis comes in, Fredrickson out. Sallis leads everybody, Mike, with his 20. In fact, he's one of 4 Wake players to get to double digits. Syracuse went on an 8-0 run in 18 seconds over that last sequence. So the lead is 21 with 6:50 to go. And Copeland just picked up his 5th personal. So Quadir Copeland disqualified with the 5th personal foul. 11 points in the game, Mike, 4 of 8 shooting, and that included a 3.
Well, and this is where, for Wake Forest, the defending without fouling really becomes critical. You don't want to you don't want to bail them out with any situation. You don't want to stop the clock. Make it a tough shot, go and get the rebound. If they make a tough shot, fine, get it in, take it up the floor.
.21 points for Sallis. So far, he's made all his 3-pointers tonight. 3 of 3. Reed off the miss, and now Miller. So Sallis has 47 made threes this season. That's the most for Wake. Man, lightning quick, Boopie Miller. I mean, how many layups has he scored?
Yeah, and it was
this game?
Just again spread out, no real shot blocker right there, and you underestimate how fast he can get to the rim.
Brown shot bounced out, swatted out of bounds, and stays with Syracuse.
Right here, I mean, it's just that initial burst of speed, and he can finish with either hand. That's the beauty of he can go with his left or his right.
He and his teammates trying to stop a 2-game losing streak, and see how balanced they have been throughout the season and tonight.
And that's with Reed only 2 points.
Williams catch and release. Stop me if you've heard it before.
No, I'm just going to beat everybody down the floor.
21 for Miller. Told you the last time we were in the house, he went for a career high 27 in OT against Miami. He just picked up the foul too.
I think he may request that CW and our outstanding production crew to come back for another game.
Here comes Boopie buckets, style points too. Remember, the Orange had Buddy buckets a few years ago. Now Wake has Boopie buckets. Hildreth got bumped. Overzealous defending by Brown. Hildreth, as Mike mentioned, with the double-double tonight, and that's going to be the 5th on Malik Brown. He'll be the 2nd Orange player to foul out. Peter Carey's going to come in. So Brown might have struggled, just 2 points and 1 of 4 shooting. Did lead him with the 8 rebounds.
It's amazing. There have only been 19 available rebounds in the game for Syracuse.
Well,
and six of those have been missed free throws by Wake Forest, which is uncharacteristic.
And Wake is shooting 70% as a team. The building record is 70.2%. At one point, Wake was above that at 70.7.
They're 70.5 right now.
There you go. Math class with Jaminski. Reed. He'll back his way in on Carey.
He can't get any closer. I don't know where he was backing into. 71.1, Tom.
Okay.
I'll give you
keeping an eye.
Bucket to bucket updates.
We're going to the update desk with Jaminski.
The market closes in 4 minutes and 57 seconds.
What a defensive play by Carr. Not letting up at all. Miller eyes for the rim. This time he finds Sallis. Hunter Sallis, 4 for 4 from three-point distance, to the dismay of the folks who have made the trip from Central New York to watch their Orange. So earlier we mentioned that the Deacs have not been back to the tournament since 2017. Mike, here's what they've done so far this season, including their net ranking, NCAA evaluation tool of 50.
Yeah, there's work to do there for sure. And again, I think the majority of it in the second half is going to be on the road in the ACC, and that's where they've got to show a lot, some big improvement. And this has been an offensive clinic this evening, and that's what this may be one of their worst free throw shooting performances of the year. But from the field, unbelievable. But they've got to find a way to transition this out on the road.
Yeah, they only went 6 of 22 on three-pointers at Pitt. Tonight they are 11 of 16, and that computes to 69%.
You know, the interesting thing is Steve Forbes was talking to us today about this, that at home their opponents average 13 free throw attempts per game. On the road, 26. And that's a strange disparity. That's not just 3 or 4, that's double. And he says a lot of that is in the second half. It's transition points and free throw attempts that have been a real problem for them.
They've been just 2 and 4 in their last 6 games. And as I mentioned, on a 2-game losing streak, it appears that it is going to end tonight against the Orange with 4.5 minutes to go. And Carey at the line. Peter Carey, the sophomore from Sunderland, Massachusetts, distracted by Miss Swift in the background. I think I know where she's going to be next Sunday.
Where isn't she?
Although I think she has to travel from Japan.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Our guys on Inside the NFL will break it down for you.
What is it? I mean, I think there's going to be a whole generation of kids who want to grow up being tight ends in the NFL.
Or pop singers.
Or
one of the two.
One of the two. If you're a young lady, you're going to want to grow up being a pop singer.
Sure.
If you're a young man, you want to grow up being a tight end. I mean, with Gronkowski and now Kelsey, I mean, it's just,
I'm sure it'll be exciting, and as I mentioned, our guys on Inside the NFL will break it down for you. Probably going to be the most watched Super Bowl of all time.
I cannot. I mean, Purdy, the last pick, and I can't. But I can't go against. I can't go against Mahomes. I can't.
Tough to do.
I can't.
You know that the 49ers have won a Super Bowl since the mid-90s. Does that seem possible? Obviously, the Chiefs have a couple. With Mahomes. Starling. Not to digress too much, but this Wake performance tonight, Mike, could be historical as we go inside of 4 minutes.
It's just one of the great shooting performances I've seen.
Somehow Reed shoveled it to the corner in Sallis. So we'll check on possession when we come back. 94-61, Reed and the Deacs.
When you're great, your game does the talking.
Visit Progressive.com.
Yeah, Syracuse has done a lot of looking at the back of Boopie Miller's uniform because he has just been in overdrive through the whole game. 10 of 14 from the field, 21 points for him, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He's been fabulous. 14 points in the second half, Tom.
There's a chance that he and his teammates can hit 100. 2019 for the last time they did that. And Mike is keeping an eye on that percentage. The building record is 70.2% by Wake field goal shooting. Cuff for 3.
And the one thing too, I mean, if Steve Forbes, coach, you're going to look at something, you're going to grind, and you're going to have something to get on your team about. A third of Syracuse's points have been off turnovers. So, and again, taking care of the ball, especially some of the careless turnovers that Wake has had, you clean those up, and this is about as good a game as you can play.
I think they knew that the Orange might be able to do that. They forced 21 turnovers against BC, which created 18 points, although they lost by 5.
That's their strength, and it's one of the categories where they do, you know, they're very highly ranked in the league.
Too strong for Carey. Carr hits the deck and saves it to Reed. All right, final 2.5 minutes of this one. Reed, why not?
And their shooting percentage plummets to 68.8.
Starling the jumper. So Wake led by 14 points at halftime, Mike. They limited the Orange to just 28 points in the first half. And now as we hit the 2-minute threshold, Wake has put 94 on the board, make it 96 thanks to Reed. He's got 8.
This team really is, I mean, they've got size, they've got three-point shooting, they've got good guard play.
All of those points for Reed coming in the second half. Williams, a twisting turn away, tough angle. 24 points in the game for Sallis, leading scorer. Another 3. And it comes from the bench of Bramo Zunka. His first made 3 of the season.
Perfect from the floor.
The sophomore from Italy. Genoa, right, Mike?
Genoa.
Northwest Italy. Sophomore guard, 6'6", 200. Eccezionale with that three-pointer.
Just think the salami.
Transfer from UCLA. Played 22 games in that program a season ago. We got some major league substitutions coming. So maybe at halftime, Mike, Coach Forbes said, remember what happened to that 10-point lead on the road at Pitt on Wednesday? Yeah. Don't let that happen again.
Right. Remember they had, and you touched on an 8-point run in like 20 seconds. And
Syracuse did, yeah 18 seconds. Yeah.
He called a quick timeout right there. And
so Fredrickson is coming in, Mike. Miller just went out. How about 21 points for Boopie Miller?
Got one of my home countrymen in. Marcus Marion from Denmark.
In our games on the CW, Miller has scored 48 points. Williams, offensive glass.
To Nobry in particular.
54 seconds to go. So Coach Forbes is on his way to his 64th win on the Wake bench, his 362nd overall as a head coach. Coach of the Year back in 2022 in the ACC. They won 19 games last year, Mike, and this one is going to give them 14 wins. Jam at the other end, flying Chris Bell. Marcus Marion, as Mike mentioned, is into the game, number 1 for Wake. Fredrickson's in there. Bounces off for Aaron Clark, the freshman from Easton, Pennsylvania. Man, I am scrambling with the roster right now. Let me tell you. I'm sure that's the way Wake likes it. Although, Mike, they're going to come up short of 100. And what about the field goal percentage, Mike? What's it going to be?
66.
It's not going to be good enough. The building record stands at 70.2 for field goal percentage. 99-70. The Demon Deacs